All right, ladies and gentlemen, for the first step of our watercolor practice, first you got to gather your materials. You need a pencil. You need some markers. They have to be washable. They don't have to be Crayola, but they do have to be washable. They cannot be Sharpies because they got to be something that's water soluble for what we're doing. And truthfully, they don't have to be new. You can do a marker bleed with kind of a dead marker, and I have one of my old dead markers, and I will demonstrate with that as well as the new one, so you can see the difference. You need a cup of water and a brush. If you have a watercolor brush, that is ideal. If you do not, Q-tips will work. And I am going to actually do the demo with Q-tips just to show you that it is possible. So you do not need a brush to do this assignment. So, first, you just watched a video where you talked about value and value scales. Value is the lightness or darkness of a color. So what you're going to do first, which is the easy part, is practice using pencil to make things lighter or darker. So the way you do that is, in order to make something light, you kind of go back and forth. Now the thing that you can do with pencil is you can go different directions and you can kind of smudge. And if you're not using a mechanical pencil, it works a little bit better. But see how I smudged? Even in that light space, I didn't leave it just white. Now for the dark space, you want to go, and this is going to use some lead, especially if you're using a mechanical pencil like me, you want to get it, you want to press really hard and make it as dark as possible. Now, as I'm doing this, if you do not have access to a printer, so you could not print this worksheet, that is fine. It is the act of kind of doing this row that I really want to see. So you can just draw a bunch of boxes. You can even do this on lined paper instead of computer paper. That works too. So you've got your dark, you've got your light. Now you got to figure out how to make it in the middle. So how do you make it just a little bit lighter? And I'm going in different directions. And then I'm taking my finger and I'm smudging. So see how that's just a little bit darker. I'm pressing just a little bit harder here. And here. Now for our continuity of learning assignment, I am not going to expect you to do this side here. So you can just cross this side here off. All I want to see you do is the 5 boxes. And you're going to do the bottom part too. So you're going to do this, make this a little bit darker, more lines, more lead, press harder. And now if I look here, this is a little darker than this is a little darker than this, but this is still too light. So I'm going to go back in and make it just a little bit darker, put another layer of lines on there. If you've got a non-mechanical pencil, really use the side of your pencil. I'm trying with the mechanical and it's not really working very well, but there you go. So see how it goes from light to dark. Let me pull my light over here so it gets a little bit better. All right. So now the next part, and I'm going to do this. Make sure. No, actually, that's not a dead marker. Let me find a dead marker. I'm going to do this with a dead marker to prove. Nope, that one's also not a dead marker. There we go. So see, this is a really crappy dead marker. That's okay. What you're going to do is you're going to do a marker bleed. So on this side, you're going to put as much marker as your marker can do. Then what you are going to do is you're going to take your brush or your Q-tip and you're going to put it over it. And what it's going to do is it's going to blend it so that you don't see any of those marker marks. So then I'm going to do a little less marker and a little bit more water. Now if I figure out that that's not dark enough, I can always go in and add a little bit more marker and bleed it out. You want to start lighter rather than darker because you cannot, unlike pencil, if you get too dark, you can erase pencil. If you get too dark with this marker bleed, you cannot erase it. Now my Q-tip's starting to die a little bit, so I'm twisting it over. You may need a couple of Q-tips for this assignment if you don't have a brush. And then a lot less, a lot more water. Even less, lots of water. So you see that also goes from light to dark. I can see if I can get my dark a little bit darker. There we go. That's more water to that. There we go. So you have now practiced doing a value scale from both of those. Then what you are going to do down here is you're going to practice making an object look round. So if the light is coming from, so pick a direction that your light is coming from, and then the opposite side of that direction, it's going to get nice and dark. And then it's slowly, and try to keep your lines inside your shape. This is easier if you do not have a mechanical pencil. I am doing it with a mechanical pencil to prove to you that it is possible to do with a mechanical pencil. But this is much easier and much quicker if you're not using a mechanical pencil. So if you have access to regular sharpening, the pencils I would give you in the art room, use those. And see how I'm going over it? And the other thing I can do is I can kind of smudge. Regular pencil smudges better if you're doing this on computer paper. It smudges better than other papers. So I've made it from light to dark. And I am going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to draw my arrow. Light to dark. Notice that I'm not just coloring a dark shadow here. I want you to get it I want to get you to get all those value scales. So you're going to go from light. So even the light side should have value. And then you can smudge a little bit. Pay attention to your smudging so you keep the smudging inside the shape. So I'm not smudging like crazy. I'm smudging back and forth the same way I would draw my lines. Let's get this darker. Try to get your dark as you can possibly make that pencil. As many lines as you can. Okay, and now the last thing you're going to practice, and this is what you're going to be doing on your shoe as the last step of your shoe. So I want you to practice it here. And I'm going to do this with a good marker now. What you're going to do is where your shoe is dark, or where your object is dark, you're going to do a dark outline. So where my thing is dark, I'm going to do a dark outline. And now I'm going to show you how to do this with the brush. And now you're going to make that dark outline bleed. So I'm going to add a little more. So you want it to fade, just like you made it fade from light to dark. You're going to make the watercolor, which is really what you're doing. You're turning your markers into watercolor. So dark to light. Now you see that we're not using great paper. So if you add too much water, and you can see because I'm demonstrating this and I'm not really paying attention to what I'm doing, can see my paper. Here it is. My paper is peeling a little bit. That means you've added too much water. So over here, or you're trying or I'm pressing too hard on cheap paper. So you're probably not working with good paper at home. It's okay. A little bit of water goes a long way, and then stop, let it dry. And you are done your watercolor worksheet, or your marker and watercolor worksheet. Take a photo of it just like I have here, and you can even see how I'm taking this. So put right above it just like you have been, and take a photograph just like this, nicely lit, and turn it into canvas.